Hey guys, it's Sarah. Today I wanted to do a discussion video about young adult books. Now, I am 29 years old, so that's a little older than the target audience for the young adult genre. A few months ago, there was an article on Slate, I believe, where this really snobby blogger was calling out adults for reading young adult literature. And she was basically saying, you should be embarrassed to be reading books written for children, you know, in a snobby way. I, of course, thought this was total crap, and I wrote a blog entry answering her that I will link to down below, but basically, I feel like you should read whatever the hell you want to, and if you're, 72 and you want to read Dr. Seuss books and they make you happy, then you should. Why not? So, why do I read a lot of young adult, even though I'm 29? Okay, when I was a teenager, the young adult genre wasn't really a big deal. Like, I don't think I knew anyone who was actually going to the young adult section and buying books from there frequently. But I personally really enjoyed stories about people my age. And in 1999, The Perks of Being a Wallflower came out. And I don't actually think it was marketed as a young adult book until later. But I read it and I absolutely fell in love with it, 100%. It's still my favorite book to this day. It kind of shaped who I was in a lot of ways. And there will always be a special place in my heart for The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Anyway, so I loved that book, but I kind of just read, whatever I felt like reading. I went through a big Anne Rice obsession when I was a teenager. I really liked a lot of classics. I really liked 1984. I really just read a random assortment of things. So, like everyone else, I kind of got on the Harry Potter and Twilight trains, and I was really fascinated with the way so many people enjoyed those books, and these two authors kind of created worlds that people wanted to escape to. Now, I've always been a writer ever since I was little. I mean, I was literally writing plays when I was like 7 and making the neighborhood kids perform them in my driveway. So when I read Harry Potter and Twilight, I really wanted to try to write a series like that. And I thought the young adult time period would be the most interesting characters to write about. Everyone can remember being a teenager. It's a very interesting time in your life where you're kind of coming into your own and figuring out who you are. And it's a very dynamic time to write about. I think this is why there are so many interesting young adult stories. So when I decided to try writing in the young adult genre, I decided that I needed to read a lot more young adult. So that's kind of how it started for me. Once I started reading more young adult books, I discovered that I really loved them, and there were a lot of really engaging and dynamic and interesting stories in this genre. And so I kind of just kept reading them, even though I am getting older. But I'll probably still be reading young adults even when I'm like 50, because a good story is a good story, and who really cares how old the protagonist is? Now, I don't only read young adult. I try to branch out, read some nonfiction, read some adult, kind of more literary fiction. I've been trying to read things in the mystery genres that I wouldn't normally pick up. I did read a lot of young adult this year and last year in particular because I'm in the middle of my own young adult series, The Muses, and I'm in the process of trying to get that published with my literary agent. And I think it's just important to practice your craft and to learn from other writers who are successfully publishing in the young adult genre. I also just get really curious every time there's like a bestseller literary phenomenon. You know, I am the person who read the entire 50 Shades of Grey book just to figure out why the hell it was selling, which I never entirely did. So if you can explain that to me, please do. Anyway, so in short, read whatever the hell you want, no matter how old you are. It is important to try to branch out and read different things, I think, and read diversely, read authors from different countries and different perspectives. All of that is important. But ultimately, a good story can be told from any age range. So don't listen to the literary snobs and the haters, because they don't know what they're talking about. And ultimately, I think you should just read whatever makes you happy. And you know what? If 50 Shades of Grey makes you happy, you should read it. That's all I have to say on this topic. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. I said, are you?